Hello, everybody. My name is Mason, and welcome back to Mason Zero ASMR. Today, we're going to be doing a Magic the Gathering deck video. As you can see, it is a Temmet Vizier of Naktamun commander deck. So, what this deck does is a lot of tokens. That is what Temmet is built around, and it's what the deck is primarily doing. This is my latest commander deck, and I don't know if I'm going to keep it. The deck hasn't been super great so far, but it probably just needs some tuning. So Temmet Vizier of Naktamun costs 1 white and 1 blue for a 2/2 legendary creature, Human Cleric. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature token you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn and can't be blocked this turn. And he has Embalm for 3, a white and a blue. So Temmet gives us the interesting situation where it is very feasible built into the commander to have 2 copies of him at the same time. However, the legend rule does apply even to the token. The token is technically the same card as him, which is kind of interesting. But it makes for some interesting choices on whether to put him back into the command zone or put him into the graveyard when he dies. So let's go through the rest of the cards. We'll start with the creatures. Pretty much all the creatures either make tokens or become tokens or something like that. And there's a lot of Amonkhet and Hour of Devastation cards because they just worked very well with Embalm and Eternalize. Our first creature is Glyph Keeper, 3 and 2 blue, for a 5/3 Sphinx with flying. Whenever Glyph Keeper becomes the target of a spell or ability for the first time each turn, counter that spell or ability. Embalm for 5 and 2 blue. Sunscourge Champion, 2 and a white for a 2/3 Human Wizard. When Sunscourge Champion enters the battlefield, you gain life equal to its power. Eternalize costs 2 and 2 blue and discard a card. And Embalm is where you make a token copy of the creature. Eternalize is where you make a token copy of the creature, except its power toughness is 4/4. Geist Honored Monk, 3 and 2 white, for a star Human Monk with Vigilance. Geist Honored Monk's power and toughness are each equal to the number of creatures you control. When Geist Honored Monk enters the battlefield, put 2 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying onto the battlefield. Doom Traveler, 1 white for a 1/1 creature Human Soldier. When Doom Traveler dies, put a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying onto the battlefield. Aven Windguide, 2, a white and a blue, for a 2/3 creature bird warrior with flying and vigilance. Creature tokens you control have flying and vigilance. Embalm for 4, a white and a blue. This is definitely a card that can push the deck over the edge, giving a lot of tokens flying. Champion of Wits, 2 and a blue, for a 2/1 creature Naga Wizard. When Champion of Wits enters the battlefield, you may draw cards equal to its power. If you do, discard 2 cards. Eternalize for 5 and 2 blue. Adorned Pouncer, 1 and a white for a 1/1 creature cat with double strike. Eternalize Eternalize for 3 and 2 white. Labyrinth Guardian. 1 and a blue for a 2/3 creature illusion warrior. When Labyrinth Guardian becomes the target of a spell, sacrifice it. Embalm for 3 and blue. Angel of Sanctions. 3 and 2 white for a 3/4 creature angel with flying. When Angel of Sanctions enters the battlefield, you may exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until Angel of Sanctions leaves the battlefield. Embalm for 5 and a white. Maloku, the Clouded Mirror. 4 and a blue for a 2/4 legendary creature, Moonfolk Wizard with flying. Pay 1 and return a land you control to its owner's hand. Put a 1/1 blue illusion creature token with flying onto the battlefield. Phantom General. 3 and a white for a 2/3 creature, Spirit Soldier. Creature tokens you control get +1/+1. Wharf Infiltrator. 1 and a blue for a 1/1 creature, Human Horror. With Skulk. Whenever Wharf Infiltrator deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Whenever you discard a creature card, you may pay 2. If you do, put a 3/2 colorless Eldrazi Horror creature token onto the battlefield. Whirler Rogue. 2 and 2 blue for a 2/2 creature, Human Rogue Artificer. When Whirler Rogue enters the battlefield, put 2 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature tokens with flying onto the battlefield. Tap 2 untapped artifacts you control. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. Anointer Priest. 1 and a white for a 1/3 creature, Human Cleric. Whenever a creature token enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. Embalm for 3 and a white. Vizier of the Anointed. 3 and a blue for a 2/4 creature, Human Cleric. When Vizier of the Anointed enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a creature card with Eternalize or Embalm. Put that card into your graveyard, then shuffle your library. Whenever you activate an Eternalize or Embalm ability, draw a card. Vizier of Many Faces. 2 and 2 blue for a 0/0 creature, Shapeshifter Cleric. You may have Vizier of Many Faces enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except if Vizier of Many Faces was embalmed. The token has no mana cost, it's white, and it's a zombie in addition to its other types. Embalm for 3 and 2 blue. Desolation Twin. 10 mana for a 10/10 creature Eldrazi. When you cast Desolation Twin, put a 10/10 colorless Eldrazi creature token onto the battlefield. Trueheart Duelist. 1 and a white for a 2/2 creature, Human Warrior. Trueheart Duelist can block an additional creature each combat. Embalm for 2 and a white. So those are our creatures. Next we're going to go to our enchantments, which almost all make tokens. I think they do all make tokens or buff tokens. Start off with the infamous Seance. 2 and 2 white. At the beginning of each upkeep, you may exile target creature card from your graveyard. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's a spirit in addition to its other types. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. Invocation of Saint Draft. 1, a white and a blue for an aura with enchant creature. enchanted creature has, whenever this creature attacks, put a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. Exile that token at end of combat. Anointed Procession. 3 and a white for an enchantment. If an effect would create one or more tokens under your control, it creates twice that many of those tokens instead. Intangible Virtue. 1 and a white. Creature tokens you control get +1/+1 and have vigilance. Mirror Mockery. 1 and a blue for an aura with enchant creature. Whenever enchanted creature attacks, you may put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of that creature. Exile that token at end of combat. Followed Footsteps. 3 and 2 blue. Enchant creature. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a token that's a copy of enchanted creature onto the battlefield. Mechanized Production. 2 and 2 blue. Enchant artifact you control. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a token that's a copy of enchanted artifact. Then if you control 8 or more artifacts with the same name as one another, you win the game. Those are enchantments. Plenty of token shenanigans there. Next we'll go to our instants, which some make tokens, some are supportive. Valorous Stance. 1 and a white. For choose 1. Target creature gains indestructible until end of turn. Destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater. Ojutai's Command. 2, a white and a blue. Choose 2. Return target creature card with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, or you gain 4 life, or counter target creature spell, or draw a card. Gideon's Phalanx. 5 and 2 white. Put 4 2/2 white knight creature tokens with vigilance onto the battlefield. Spell Mastery. If there are 2 or more instant and or sorcery cards in your graveyard, creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. Rootborn Defenses. 2 and a white. Populate. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. I apologize, I'm trying to mess with the lighting here. Make sure you can read the card. Dig Through Time. 6 and 2 blue. With Delve, look at the top 7 cards of your library. Put 2 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Summoner's Bane. 2 and 2 blue for an instant. Counter target creature spell. Put a 2/2 blue illusion creature token onto the battlefield. Supplant Form. 4 and 2 blue. Return target creature to its owner's hand. You put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of that creature. Confirm Suspicions. 3 and 2 blue. Counter target spell. Investigate 3 times. Cyclonic Rift. 1 and a blue. Return target non-land permanent you don't control to its owner's hand. Overload for 6 and a blue. Swords to Plowshares. 1 white. Exile target creature. Its controller gains life equal to its power. Return to Dust. 2 and 2 blue. 2 white. Exile target artifact or enchantment. If you cast this spell during your main phase, you may exile up to 1 other target artifact or enchantment. Now on to our sorceries. our sorceries. Kind of the same story, supporting cards and token generators. 1 white. Exile target creature. Its controller gains life equal to its power. Return to Dust. 2 and 2 blue. 2 white. Exile target artifact or enchantment. If you cast this spell during your main phase, you may exile up to 1 other target artifact or enchantment. Now on to our sorceries, kind of the same story, supporting cards and token generators. Saheeli's Artistry. 4 and 2 blue. Choose one or both. Create a token that's a copy of target artifact. Create a token that's a copy of target creature, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. Paral's Expertise. 3 and 2 blue. Return up to 3 target artifacts and or creatures to their owner's hands. You may cast a card with converted mana cost 4 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. Mass Calcify. 5 and 2 white. Destroy all non-white creatures. Sram's Expertise. 2 and 2 white. Create 3 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature tokens. You may cast a card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. Stolen Identity. 4 and 2 blue. Put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of target artifact or creature, and it has Cipher. End Hostilities. 3 and 2 white. Destroy all creatures and all permanents attached to creatures. 7. Clone Legion. 7 and 2 blue. For each creature target player controls, create a token that's a copy of that creature. Supreme Verdict. 1, 2 white and a blue. Supreme Verdict can't be countered. Destroy all creatures. Launch the Fleet. 1 white. With Strive. Launch the Fleet costs 1 more to cast for each target beyond the first. Until end of turn, any number of target creatures each gain. Whenever this creature attacks, put a 1/1 white soldier creature token onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking. Open into Wonder. X and 2 blue. X target creatures can't be blocked this turn. Until end of turn, those creatures gain. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Hour of Eternity. 2 X and 3 blue. Exile X target creature cards from your graveyard. For each card exiled this way, create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. Phyrexian Rebirth. 4 and 2 white. Destroy all creatures. Then create an XX colorless horror artifact creature token, where X is the number of creatures destroyed this way. We have 1 planeswalker that might not stick around. Dovin. 2, a white and a blue for a 3 loyalty planeswalker, Dovin. +1. Until your next turn, up to 1 target creature gets -3/-0, and its activated abilities can't be activated. -1, you gain 2 life and draw a card. -7, you get an emblem with your opponents can't untap more than 2 permanents during their untap step. Now we have a number of artifacts, both mana rocks and token generators and other useful abilities. Commander's Sphere. 3 mana. Tap to add to your mana pool 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. Sacrifice Commander's Sphere. Draw a card. Tamio's Journal. 5. At the beginning of your upkeep, investigate. Tap and sacrifice 3 clues. Search your library for a card and put that card into your hand. Then shuffle your library. Horn Power Stone. 3 mana. Horn Power Stone enters the battlefield tapped. Tap, add 2 to your mana pool. Burnished Heart. 3 mana for a 2/2 artifact creature Elk. Pay 3 and sacrifice Burnished Heart. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Put them onto the battlefield tapped. Then shuffle your library. Mind Stone. 2 mana. Tap to add 1 to your mana pool. Pay 1 and tap and sacrifice Mind Stone. Draw a card. Titan Forge. 3 mana. Pay 3 and tap it to put a charge counter on Titan Forge. Tap and remove 3 charge counters from Titan Forge, putting 9/9 colorless golem artifact creature token onto the battlefield. Soul Ring. 1 mana. Tap to add 2 colorless to your mana pool. Skull Clamp. 1 mana. With equip for 1. Equipped creature gets +1/-1. Whenever equipped creature dies, draw 2 cards. Soul Separator. 3 mana. Pay 5. Tap and sacrifice Soul Separator. Exile target creature card from your graveyard. Put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of that card, except it's a 1/1. It's a spirit in addition to its other types, and it has flying. Put a black zombie creature token onto the battlefield with power equal to that card's power and toughness. With power equal to that card's power and toughness equal to that card's toughness. Armillary Sphere. 2. Pay 2, tap, and sacrifice Armillary Sphere. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand. Then shuffle your library. Hedron Archive. 4 mana. Tap to add 2 to your mana pool. Pay 2, tap, and sacrifice Hedron Archive. Draw 2 cards. Panharmonicon. 4 mana. If an artifact or creature entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. God Pharaoh's Gift. 7 mana. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may exile a creature card from your graveyard. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. It gains haste until end of turn. Azorius Signet. 2 mana. Pay 1 and tap to add white-blue to your mana pool. Swiftfoot Boots. 2 mana. Equip 1. Equipped creature has hexproof and haste. Captain's Claws. 2 mana. Equipped creature gets +1/+0. Whenever equipped creature attacks, put a 1/1 white core ally creature token onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking. Equip 1. Now we have some non-basic lands, mostly utility, dual color lands, and that's about it. So, we have Evolving Wilds and its twin Terramorphic Expanse. Tap and sacrifice, search your library for a basic land card, and put it onto the battlefield tapped. Then shuffle your library. Vizier Refuge. Enters the battlefield tapped. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. Tap for white or blue. Glacial Fortress. Enters the battlefield tapped unless you control plains or an island. Tap for white or blue. Prairie Stream. Prairie Stream enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands. Tap for white or blue. Fairy Conclave. Enters the battlefield tapped. Tap to add blue. Pay 1 and a blue. Fairy Conclave becomes a 2/1 blue fairy creature with flying until end of turn. It's still a land. Irrigated Farmland. Irrigated Farmland enters the battlefield tapped. Cycling for 2. Tap to add white or blue to your mana pool. Command Tower. Tap, add to your mana pool 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. Tranquil Cove. Tranquil Cove enters the battlefield tapped. When Tranquil Cove enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. Tap, add white or blue to your mana pool. Floodplain. Floodplain enters the battlefield tapped. Tap and sacrifice Floodplain. Search your library for a plains or island card and put it onto the battlefield. Then shuffle your library. Gargoyle Castle. Tap, add colorless to your mana pool. Pay 5, tap, and sacrifice Gargoyle Castle. Create a 3/4 colorless Gargoyle artifact creature token with flying. Azorius Chancery. Azorius Chancery enters the battlefield tapped. When Azorius Chancery enters the battlefield, return a land you control to its owner's hand. Tap, add white-blue to your mana pool. Temple of the False God. Tap, add 2 colorless to your mana pool. Activate this ability only if you control 5 or more lands. Moorland Haunt. Tap, add 1 to your mana pool. Pay a white and a blue, tap, exile a creature card from your graveyard. Put a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying onto the battlefield. Port Town. As Port Town enters the battlefield, you may reveal a plains or island card from your hand. If you don't, Port Town enters the battlefield tapped. Tap, add white or blue to your mana pool. And then we have some basic lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 plains. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 islands. So let me know what you think of this deck. Let me know if you have any recommendations. Like I said, it's still kind of new and fresh, so I'm looking at ways to improve it. So thank you all for watching if you made it to this point. I hope you were entertained and relaxed and enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like and comment and subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate all of you watching and listening, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.